Wow, here we are again.
Another episode.
ZoeTv, I know. I love
they haven't canceled
this. Yes.
Every week, I'm not sure, especially after our controversial interview with the president last week. I thought maybe that would have been our last episode, but we've managed to survive, and here we are.
Here we are, and we aren't going to go political.
No.
We got other things, more important things to talk about.
Amazing guests.
Yes, amazing. I'm excited because
I'm always excited.
You learn so much about people, and this is the best way to do it. I do want to talk about, I did mention this a couple weeks ago, we have an opportunity for anybody who's interested in having a pen pal with somebody somewhere else in the country.
Anywhere, right? They could be all over.
Yeah, they could be. And I just peeked into a couple of them because some people have picked them up and they wanted a female or what.
Okay.
And they're amazing. I didn't read the letters, but they add artwork and all kinds of cards in there for people to write back to them. So if you're interested, please give me a call.
So there's still time. There's still time.
Yes, I still have a few left, and I would love for you to engage with these people. It's 623-847-3199.
That's great. I think that's important. I'm glad you got that out there. Okay, so today's episode, we got 2 guests, not 3. We're back to 2, and I think both are going to give really good perspective, as always, on Glencroft.
Yes.
And our first is going to be Milan.
Yes.
Milan.
Manjencich.
Manjencich. He taught us, and he'll teach you how to say this wonderful name.
Manjencich.
I think Milan is going to do very good justice to his new role here. 2 weeks this guy's been on.
Too.
I'm excited. And then the other amazing resident, I guess we do have 3 interviews because we got a power couple of the campus.
Yes,
power couple of Court 4.
Right.
The
they are.
Pershings, Mel and Marcia, who were nominated by Lily and Pluta, and,
I wonder who they'll nominate.
It's exciting to see.
You never know. Yeah.
All right, we got a great show. We look forward to seeing it with you guys. We are so excited, Kay.
Yes, we are.
Another segment of the Resident of Inspiration. And thanks to Lily and Pluta, last week's nominee, we got our hands on not 1 resident of inspiration, but 2.
I know.
And she was adamant. You can't take Mel and you can't take Marcia. You take them both. It's like they come as a package. So the Pershings, welcome.
Thank you.
We are so excited to have you on this segment. I think it's a great nomination.
Oh, it's perfect.
I've got to know you guys really well via ZoeLife. And Mel, you were back with us in Beta 1 back January 2nd of 19. Think back those long time ago.
I got a sweater with the name on there,
You were one of the first 43, and then you jumped in Beta 2. And you guys have been a pillar down there. You want to talk about the 6 pillars of Zoe. This is the 7th and 8th pillar.
Okay,
they
all right.
are synonymous with ZoeLife. So tell us about your experience. What got you to Glencroft, and then we'll get into ZoeLife. But give us some background on you guys.
Well, we looked around. Most of the places are just places you get a bed and meals and so forth, and they don't really have the qualifications for the kind of treatment we get here. We're very happy. We made a very good decision, we think.
That's very good.
We know we do, not think.
Yeah, right. Absolutely. And when did you move in?
5 years ago.
5 years ago.
Okay.
Now, where were you guys living prior to that decision? Where were you guys at?
We were in Sun City for about 20 years. Yeah.
Okay. For 20 years in Sun City?
We had a house there,
And where before Sun City? Where did you?
On 19th Avenue.
Oh, okay. Did you grow up here?
No.
Okay.
We've been up in Illinois
since 1984.
Okay. And what brought you from Illinois to Arizona?
Oh, that's a long story.
Oh, we have a lot of time.
Yeah, we do. We have a lot of time.
You could just tell us briefly.
You could just say the weather. That's most of the Illinois people.
That's part of it. And Mel had decided he wanted to go back into business, and he had a covenant not to compete with his business in Illinois. So my family has been out here for years, so we decided to
Well,
give it a
good.
try.
We're glad you did.
Yeah. And 5 years ago, you made the decision to come to Glencroft. I bet even in that little bit of time of 5 years, you saw some changes take place on this campus.
Very much, yeah.
Because that's about the timeline 5 years ago is when
I
we
came here.
really started making some big changes.
Right.
Yeah.
Kay
Right.
arrived.
Yeah,
and
I
the rest
arrived.
is history.
Things started happening.
Yes, that's right.
So,
We should have K-Day.
K-Day?
Yeah, there you go.
Oh,
All right.
okay. So tell us, when you came on, you stayed in, you've lived at the same court, you're in court 4, you've been in that same,
Location.
We like our
Location the whole
apartment.
time.
It's
Right, right.
convenient, and we like our location. And
what is, because I think everybody out there is obviously very defensive of their part of the campus, and they love their little pod and their tribe, and so what is it about court 4 that you would sell a new resident on? Why court 4 is the best place to be?
the people that live there are just so helpful. You know, when we moved in, they were right there, encouraging us and showing us how to get around.
It's so good to have good neighbors, isn't it? It
It
makes
is.
such a difference.
Absolutely. So tell us this, when Lillian Pluta nominated you, what was your first reaction? We love asking that question.
I know.
And the answer is usually the same.
Why?
Why would you do this to us?
Our neighbor.
And you sweep her front. That's what her story. You
Yes.
take care of the front area. The-
She's a sweetheart,
Yeah,
and,
she
and
is.
she certainly has a wonderful disposition for all the problems that she
Absolutely.
has.
I know.
Yeah, that was really evident last week, and I've been hearing feedback on her interview all week about people saying, "Man, I want a little of what she's having because she just is living life."
Spunky and
Yeah.
She is.
Grateful.
She doesn't complain a word, but
No, I think that's a great just
virtue. It's a
Yeah.
great way to live your life, isn't it? It's
It is.
inspiring, and I'm sure that's part of why you like living around her.
yeah, she's really great.
So before we get into your nomination, because that's why you're here, we got to keep this train moving around campus, and I know you're going to have a great nominee, but before we get into that, I want to backtrack just a little bit and kind of walk through, because you've been so heavily involved with ZoeLife and our Parkinson's program. And our Parkinson's, man, we're going on 7, 8, 9 months now of working with you guys. And I think perspective of you getting to see him working every day, having that little team that's kind of worked around you guys, what's kind of your feedback so far on what we're trying to accomplish with that kind of program?
Well, program, I probably wouldn't, if I wasn't here, would not have any idea of what I needed to do for my Parkinson's. And I'm probably really lucky, not probably, really lucky that I came here, because the program has kept me in, basically, I can still walk, I can still talk.
Right.
And I mean, those kind of things can go really bad with Parkinson's, I guess.
Yeah, that's absolutely
Keeps
right.
him active, you know.
Yeah.
He has to be there every day for that 10 o'clock class.
Yep.
Yeah.
And he's
And it's hopeful, isn't it, to
and he
move
does it.
forward?
He's-
Yes.
You know, if he had to do it on his own, he probably wouldn't do it. And
That's some of the biggest feedback we've had is having our team of Gerald and Michelle and myself and our speech therapist and Randy and all of these people in place that we're waiting for you at 10 o'clock. So you're held to the fire a little bit, as opposed, like you said, just I might go to the gym today or downstairs on my own, and left to your own devices, it wouldn't happen.
I don't feel like it today, and that's easy to say.
Right.
You know.
So, Mel, out of everything we do, every day of the week is so different. We try to change it up to keep it interesting and have something new every day. What's your favorite thing to do down there? Is it the water? Is it the speech classes? Is it just the general working out? Is it the boxing, the virtual reality? What do you enjoy?
They're all fine, but I suppose the pool area would be seems to give me a pretty good exercise day.
Yeah, I
For
know.
an hour.
Yeah.
I know we've had a lot of conversations coming into the pool where you're feeling stiff and my back, my neck, my limbs are just. And by the time we're done, it's like, okay, I can move a little bit better. And that's the idea. We don't use that hour to beat you up and make you even worse off and tired.
Right.
It's to try to get circulation happening and moving. So the rest of the day is like, feel kind of invigorated.
And you keep adding to the program.
That's right.
We've met with people from Midwestern University who are experts in the field, giving us great feedback and partnership.
Yep.
So the program's growing. It's not stagnant, and you don't do the same thing. I mean, that's encouraging. I would think if it was me, I would want to know that new things were on the horizon.
Before COVID, things were really moving along well, and the Midwest lectures and things, were great, and hopefully we'll get back to that again.
Oh, we will.
Absolutely.
That's my passion.
Last week, we started the Parkinson's Golf Program, and we took a couple of our residents over to the Wigwam. We made a great joint venture with the Wigwam Resort, and we are shuttling our golfers over, and I call them our Parkinson's ZoeLife team, and they go play. And what was that experience like? You're not a golfer per se, but the idea of getting outside and getting on grass, I mean, it's just fun, right?
Very good, and it gives another thing to do to keep me active and
That's right.
learn something new and different, that's kind of like my voice. I think the voice thing here is good because it keeps my voice up.
That's
Because
right.
you can lose your voice.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And this program, you do a little bit of everything.
Well, I saw the pictures. I felt like I was there with you because he's sending
Oh, I love
pictures.
it.
He was so excited. And
I just was watching us as we were all loading that shuttle in golf clubs after golf clubs were being loaded up. And I know Wigwam is just such a great facility that we were really going to have a good time. And
Beautiful
it was
isn't it nice?
It was seamless. They
Old
picked us
Arizona.
up, rolled out the red carpet basically for us, right? We arrived on the scene and off we went. So it was fun. So it's
Yes.
that time. Your nominee to keep this train moving around campus is
Ruth Smith.
Ruth Smith, who happened to be on the golf shuttle with us. She's a good golfer, isn't she?
Yeah, she is.
I was watching her swing and I said, man, she's got some pretty good action for 92.
Yeah, and she
She
said she
does.
didn't start golfing until she was 50.
See, that gives a lot of us who
That's
are
right.
almost
you
50.
You can start
Oh.
anytime, I guess.
That's so cool. So what is it about Ruth? I'm sure she's in your court.
She's just there for you, and if you need your pants shortened, she can do that for you, and she's a good neighbor.
She is 92 years old is something, I'll tell you.
I tell you what,
Inspiring.
I watch her because I always miss that she leaves for the summer and then
Yeah.
comes, and I'm always waiting for her to come back because
It-
I like seeing her walking around, smiling. I know we're going to talk golf, and I think that's a great nominee. I cannot wait to see
Good
her
choice.
reaction next week because she can be a little feisty.
She
I
has a
can't
good
wait to
sense-
see what she
good
thinks
sense of
of
humor.
Good.
I think she'll take it in stride.
Oh, she will.
She
She'll be
will.
good.
She'll be great on here. But guys, we thank you. You guys have been with us, at least me, from the beginning. I'm glad that you all called Glencroft home for 5 years. So we love having you.
And thank you for participating.
We
I
hope
see your
we have-
name in all the classes, and
Yeah, they're active.
that's
They're the
really
pillar,
important.
Pillar 7, Pillar 8.
You got to stay.
I think you're right.
You got to stay active. And
Gotta
stay
You
active.
keep us active by what I want to say.
Encouraging.
Developing all
Yeah.
these programs.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's right. Got to always be thinking.
Yeah.
All right, we appreciate you guys.
Okay, thank
Thank
you
you.
very much.
Well, here we go. We are sitting with the Senior Director of Dining Services.
I'm hungry already.
I know. And Milan Manjencich.
No, Manjencich.
Manjencich.
That's it.
Milan Manjencich.
Milan. Yes. All right. Segment over. No, sorry. We were practicing that for the last.
We learned how to say it.
1/2 minute.
You had a great backstory how you taught your
Yes,
teachers
come
to
on.
say it. Do
Tell
it for
the-
this. So
tell
that everybody's
everybody.
going to struggle with it.
My nieces and nephew had problems with the same thing I did growing up. The teachers would get that furrowed look on their face, and you knew they were trying to say your name. So you always raised your hand and helped them out a little bit. So I taught my nieces and nephew that if you have two gentlemen standing together, you have two men. If you have a penny in Japan, it's a yen. And if you have the word itch and you add an S to the front of it, you have a sitch. So you have men, yen, sitch.
Sitch.
Men,
Yin, Sitch.
See?
Okay.
All right. So everybody out there,
It's a great
Milan
name.
Thank you.
Manjencich.
Yes.
Ah, it's fantastic. Well, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for the invitation.
You came to Glencroft how long ago?
Just 2 weeks now.
2 weeks now.
Yes.
And you are, as we all have been, when you arrive at Glencroft, thrown in the deep end, and you're just surviving at first and learning and trying to take it all in? And how's the first 2 weeks been?
Really great. I mean, everybody has been so welcoming. The residents, I call them guests because they are our guests.
Yes.
They've been so welcoming, so nice, positive feedback. The employees are really great. We have some great team members here. I'm excited to join the team, and hopefully we can focus and grow the team as a whole in each of the areas.
Yeah, that's good. That's great perspective. So with just coming here for 2 weeks, where were you at prior? Give us some background.
I worked in the hotel industry.
Okay.
And of course, we know from COVID that's pretty much destroyed it. The company I worked for, we had 12 hotels here and out of state. My last assignment, long-term assignment with them was in Alaska. I did a fishing property up there. We had 60 rooms, a marina, a restaurant, lounge, boat rentals, slip rentals, and then we had a bigger property up there, but I was at the smaller one.
Now, where was this in Alaska?
Ketchikan, Alaska. So if anybody's taken an Alaskan cruise, which I've heard
did it last
1,000
summer.
times,
Yep.
you stop in
We did
Ketchikan
step
for
in
a day.
Ketchikan. Yep.
So
No more for like an hour.
Beautiful.
Yes.
I looked it up because I haven't.
You haven't been.
there.
It's
but I looked it
spectacular.
up. It's beautiful.
it is very nice. The people are great. The town is really welcoming to all the tourists, but it goes from like a 6,000 person town up to 15 to 18,000 in a matter of like 35 minutes.
Yes.
Well, quick story in Ketchikan. So I was so excited because I, like everybody who does a cruise ship, probably looked at the port and what do I want to do and what are my itinerary, what can we buy into, and I was so excited about Ketchikan, and then a guest on the ship got sick and delayed our entry, and it cut 3 hours off of our day at Ketchikan, and it was painful because all of our expeditions or excursions got canceled. But we got to just explore it, and you make the most. But the ships are hard. You're there for a few minutes. You don't get to experience what you did living there.
No,
and seeing the real life of.
And you
Ketchikan.
lived there how long?
9 months. Almost.
Okay, so you were there obviously when it was down to the minimum people.
Yes, I mean, we got there early March, late February is when I took the ferry, and then I left in the latter part of October.
Okay, and was that just this last year?
Last year, yes.
Okay, so
Hadn't hit COVID yet.
okay.
So they had a great tourist season. I think there was 1.2 million or 1.4 million this last year, and they were expecting 1.8 this year. But then when COVID hit, it kind of...
That's so sad because I'm not sure that will come back
Not
soon.
immediately, not
Right,
soon.
because of the cruise ships.
Cruise ships are going to be a longer.
Those were the bad stories, right? The
Yeah.
people that got COVID and were stuck out at sea. Those were the stories in the
And
beginning.
the crews that were stuck out
Right.
there. After the guests were able to leave, the crews were stuck on there.
Right, sometimes for months.
So your hospitality background and working in the hotel industry like myself, you got attuned to wowing guests, to using the palate in the culinary world, and I assume your hope is to bring that even more to Glencroft.
It is. We're working on now as I'm doing little along with my team, directors and managers and supervisors. We're doing these mini 10-minute sessions.
Okay.
So I'll go into PP, Providence Place, or I'll go into the Towers, or I'll go into Henry's. And then during lineup, which we do each morning at each of the locations, where we reaffirm what we're serving that day, what our goals are for the day, who's working what sections, that kind of thing. I will introduce 10 minutes of service standards. Carrying a tray, serving from the left, removing from the right, working on how to speak to guests and create a visual image in their mind of the new menu items. All of them have tested it, all of them have tasted it, all of them love them. And we're really pushing the ZoeLife menu. So what we do each morning is we make a new menu item, they taste it, we want them to go out and then share that experience with our guests.
Right.
And not to say, well, it's toast with this on it and that on it. I want them to build a visual image because that's how you sell food. You know that.
Yes.
Everything is visual.
Yep.
You first paint a picture in their mind, and then you give them the good service when you're dropping that food item off, and you do your follow-ups. And so we're working with each of the areas to try to improve those. And then our next goal, at the same time, is to improve everyone's knowledge of the ZoeLife menus, how good they can be, how it doesn't have to seem If you remember when gluten-free came out,
Mm-hmm.
they had that
Yep.
one loaf of bread
Yep.
that you could buy for about $8
Right.
in the back of the freezer at the end of the aisle,
Yep, afterthought.
and they shaved the ice off of it because it had been sitting there so
Right.
long. And now there's aisle upon aisle upon aisle
Right.
of gluten-free items.
Yeah.
We want to do that with ZoeLife, but we don't want them to understand that it's not that 13 slice frozen bread. It is fresh items created just for them. When they come in, they can order it, and if it's, we had a guest the other day said she doesn't like spinach, so she didn't want it on her burger.
Right.
Well, that's fine. We left it off. Not a problem. We created that burger for you, so if you don't want the spinach and you don't want this or you don't want the sauce, it's not an issue.
Customizing the
That's
experience.
great.
But we have talked offline and decided, the idea of educating and learning and being involved, invested in this process is so important. And that's what we learned with all our programs, from Beta 1 through the Parkinson's through the stroke, is, when our residents become vested in the process and they get to try it and they get to get feedback on it. And
Yes.
they all of a sudden are our biggest ambassador to it. And I think that's such a cool thing to think about with the dining.
Well, see, that leads me into my next subject is we're going to do sampling. Here in a little bit, when Jake gets back from his well-deserved time off, we're going to start sampling both in Towers and in Henry's the ZoeLife menu. And we'll also introduce other menu items that we're going to be adding to the next menu.
Okay.
So we're going to sample everybody. We want the ambassadors involved in it so we can get feedback from everybody. And then we're going to hold a little focus group once a week after the testing, and everyone gets a little thought process behind what they want to say. We're just going to kind of have a casual coffee and cookies, and let's sit with 15 or 20 of the guests and residents and say, what do you think about this item that you tasted today?
Yeah.
Good, bad,
love it.
indifferent.
Yep.
And we want to get their feedback, so we're not only just pushing a healthy item, but one that's going to be well accepted and
Right.
received. We did change the menus where we put everything on one page for ZoeLife, but we want the guests to know that's there and not to feel that it's secluded and they can't find it on the menus, or it's put back in the back because
That's
it's
right.
not good.
Yeah.
No, we want them to be able to focus on those ZoeLife menus.
What I'm excited, because we've been in this process from day one of creating ZoeLife and what this would be, and it's always been where the physical elements of ZoeLife, the working out, the social, all the activities Ross does, all of that, everybody loves. Everybody loves all aspects. Moving the needle on the dining side of eating healthier, that's been a harder ship to sail. And our teams down there have done such a great job of showing the food in a way that can be healthy and still taste really good. And to even move the needle a little bit more now and to do these tastings and get this feedback, I just love hearing it, because that's what this whole thing is about, is creating these programs and ideas and culture and food, but let them be a part of it.
Right.
They
Feedback.
have to decide.
Right.
Have to decide, because at the end of the day, it's all for them. So
Yes.
we want that to
And
be a part
thank
of
you
it.
for bringing the green deity back.
Oh, I love that.
I used to beg Lish about that. So thank you.
We do like that green deity.
It's so good.
So Milan, one last thing I would say is you are an outdoor guy, being up in Alaska, and we've talked, and you love the Jeep world and getting out and about. And
Yes.
what would a weekend look like for you off campus? Forget COVID, all that. What would somebody find you doing outside? on the
Usually
weekend?
one day I'm up in Payson, and we're up driving around up there, or in Prescott. One of those two spots I like to go up. I have some friends up. We'll get out, and most of them have Jeeps as well, so we'll do some trails. And then the other day I was usually with my brother and his family.
Okay.
Try to spend some time, and then try to get some work done around the house on the outside. It's always something.
It is.
Well, I love when we talked before about your Alaska. You said, I got to go back to experience real Alaska, because working so much in hospitality, we both know it's 365, 24/7, and now
Right. I got to do no tours
Yeah.
up there when I
No.
You
worked.
said when you weren't, you were working on your house, because you had to get ready for all that comes with living in Alaska.
Sure.
So, well, Milan, we love talking to you.
Yes,
I love
thank
it.
you.
Enjoyed it.
Yeah,
So
I'm so
good to
excited.
learn about
Oh,
new
what's coming?
employees on our campus.
And what's
Thank
coming?
you for what you're bringing.
Thank you.
I'm hungry. What a show.
It was good.
Okay?
Yes.
By the end of every show, I'm always excited. I leave kind of fired up, and this
too.
one did not disappoint.
Nope.
Mel Marcia Pershing. Let's start with these two characters.
Oh,
you know, I've got the luxury of working with so many residents, but Mel, from day one, has this aura about he wants to work better and he wants to work harder, but he's going to do it kind of under the radar. He's not your flashiest resident by any means, but he's a worker.
He's steadfast.
He is steadfast in his desire to be better.
Yeah, that's so important, and how great that he has that hope.
He has hope, and he has someone in Marcia to help facilitate all of this. Because I talk to Mel all the time, and he said, without Marcia, I'd be lost. Literally, figuratively, everything.
Right.
And Marcia really is the glue that really keeps that dynamic in place.
Yeah, they're adorable.
And I love everything Mel brings. I mean, we're taking him golfing, we're out and about, and whatever program I throw at him, whatever we need to do, he's the first to sign up.
Oh, and I love that he's so enthusiastic about it. It's exactly why we started these programs. That's the exact reason.
He is the reason. And his and her nominee for next week of Ruth Smith. So Ruth, I'm coming for you. You're going to be in the golf shuttle next week to the Wigwam, and I'm going to be all over you about your ability to sit and keep this train alive.
Exactly.
Ruth Smith. Okay, let's get back to Milan.
Oh.
What do you think?
Manjencich.
Y'all out there learned it. Manjencich. I love perspective. I love Alaska.
I love Alaska.
I mean, who doesn't love Alaska? Even if you've never been to Alaska. I mean, Great Northwest, Alaska.
Yes, Alaska.
It's amazing. But he's got cool testimony to the hospitality side. Obviously, 16 years in hospitality. Myself, I'm like, oh, another hotel guy.
Right.
Because hotel guys just have a different lens on how they look at things.
Yep.
And I think Milan has that culinary side. He has the chops for hospitality. I'm excited to see
And he understands ZoeLife food. And the
we've met a
importance
lot,
of it.
and he's got such a great team with Lish and Jake that's been executing this for so long that he's able to dovetail right in and just keep, with all of their leadership, keep this thing moving forward. I think.
Agree.
But I love the idea of the ambassadors and others being able to try things and get our staff excited about what they're presenting.
Well, I think we should be able to sneak in now that,
That's a no-brainer, Kay.
Okay, good.
Okay, Kay?
Another great show.
Another show in the books.
Thanks for joining us.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys.